everyone, Emily here. I am so glad you are back for another cooking show. I love doing these, but I'm even more stoked about it because we have Thanksgiving this week. So first off, happy Thanksgiving, a little bit early. I have hosted Thanksgiving the last 3 years and I am in love with it because I am gluten-free and dairy-free and kind of a diva when it comes to food. And the last thing you want to do when you're eating food is be stressed about food. It prevents us from enjoying the things we really should be enjoying, but also it prevents us from digesting food appropriately. So cooking my own food has been a game changer, but I also wanted to share with you guys, if you maybe had one dish that you were in charge of, maybe we can make it a little bit healthier. So I'm gonna do 2 recipes today. My stuffing that I'm so in love with has nothing to do with the turkey, and it's the best thing I've ever created. And some cranberry sauce that's inspired by my beautiful cousin Jamie, who's always been in charge of cranberries. And this is my inspiration from her, so thanks Jamie. Okay, so we have a lot to cover. If this is longer than 10 minutes, these are always on my YouTube. You can always watch it on my YouTube. And I'm gonna do my best to measure, but let's be honest, I don't measure anything, so probably not. Let's start with the stuffing. What do you say, Blake? Feels good. Okay, starting with the stuffing. So this was a total accident that I thought of this. I love, first off, find a gluten-free bread. If you are gluten-free, if you're not, you will feel less tired and grumpy after your Thanksgiving meal if you do swap for gluten-free. But this is a vegan oat bread that's made from oat flour and tapioca flour from a company called Outside the Bread Box that I love. So what you're gonna do is just first start by cubing. I have it all ready to cube, about half a loaf. This is, you never can go wrong with recipes or with leftovers for Thanksgiving. They're my favorite. So that's step 1. Step 2, we're gonna add all the delicious things that stuffing automatically has to have. So this is gonna be starting off with celery. Celery bakes really well. So however much you want. Of course, we have onions. This is a very strong onion. I'm extremely sensitive, apparently, to whatever. I need to research. I always forget the name of what it is that makes your eyes blur. And then we get to add the fun stuff. So this is kind of my non-negotiables. I did a little bit of prep before you got here, Blake. So step 1, I roasted some of the harder vegetables. If you are multitasking and making, I almost burned them. Don't zoom in too close. If you are multitasking and you want to save time because you have one oven and you're the one doing all the cooking, do all your carrots, potatoes, parsnips. I love parsnips. They actually have more potassium than 1 banana, 1 cup of parsnip, which people don't really talk about. So I pre-cut these a little bit and bake them. All you do to bake them, dice them, avocado oil spray it, add some salt. Wait till it's brown. Try not to burn them. We're gonna add those. And then we're gonna add a little bit of ghee. So this is where we just wanna kinda like soup it up a little bit, make sure it blends together. You can use melted coconut oil as well if you want. I'm gonna use about 2 big tablespoons of ghee. And then we add anything else that you wanna add, whether it's leftovers in the fridge or things that taste good. And my 2 secret ingredients to this stuffing recipe that I made up are dates and apples. So I use about a whole apple. You can use more if you want, and then as many dates as you have patience for pitting. Okay, the last thing I add, pecans, at least to this part, however many you like. I just think it adds a lot of fun flavor. And then you are going to mix this together. And now we get to make it real fun. So I have some breakfast sausage that I got that we're gonna add into this. So split it half and half. And we're gonna make sure it's kind of a weird term, but we wanna make sure it's like wet enough. Like it's gotta be kind of fatty in order for it to taste like stuffing. So this is where I say, do I need to add more coconut oil? Or do I wanna add more ghee? And from there, we're gonna put in the oven. I'm gonna take the acorn squash out, which is what I'm gonna serve the stuffing in. I cook that at about 410 degrees. I'm gonna cook the stuffing at 350 degrees, just because I want the apples to get like, you know, baked apples, and I don't want them to burn the rest of the stuff while it's cooking. Might drop it to 300. So that is gonna happen probably in about 45 minutes to an hour. I really want it to go low and slow, so I might drop it down if I feel like the bread is burning and nothing else is kind of baking with it. And then we get to make cranberries. So cranberries are really simple and easy. Most people just add way too much sugar. So when it comes to cranberries, if you looked at like a typical cranberry recipe, it would say 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of cranberries, which is, holy shit, that's so much sugar. And we want to save our sugar for the things that we know are going to have sugar, whether it's your pumpkin and pecan pie, which is a recipe next week. But what we're going to do is make it taste good with things like orange and cinnamon sticks and honey and maple syrup. Okay, so we're going to do a recipe for 2 cups of cranberries. So 2 cups of water, and then I want you to add your sweeteners, which are going to be first and foremost cinnamon sticks, because it's not actually a sweetener, but tells your brain that it is. So let's add 2 cinnamon sticks and honey and maple syrup. I'm going to start with honey. So I'm just going to add about 2 tablespoons. Stir it, and then we want to get it on the oven to boil. So we're using all the parts of the orange, the juice, but also the peel. We need 2 cups. God, I love cranberries. I used to hate them. They are pretty bitter, and that's why cinnamon and orange, and even like a little bit of lemon, if orange peel's too bitter. And we want to get this to boiling. So once that water starts boiling, I'm going to add this orange into it. Ideally, you let it simmer for longer than an hour so you can like monitor the heat. You can get it to really take the flavors of the cinnamon, of the honey, of the orange. But when you're done with it, once it boils, you cover it, let it simmer together. And then when you're done, add more orange peel if you'd like, and then taste it and add more sweetener, or shake some cinnamon on top of it. So it's not just the cinnamon sticks. So we're gonna let that crush. Okay, here we go. The magic is here. So take your beautiful acorn squash or kabocha squash, put it right in the middle. And then we're just gonna get once these are ready and toasted however you want, you can just make these pretty little spreads of, I don't know if I'd keep it that way, but you guys get the idea. You can make it as pretty as you want. You can slice the squash, get a better serving dish, but I promise you, the stuffing is so good. I get requests for it. And all I did was chop some things and throw it together, add some dates and apples, and you have yourself a delicious stuffing meal. And the cranberries are almost ready, but I hope you guys enjoy, and thank you for being here, and happy Thanksgiving. I am so thankful for you guys. I'll see you next Monday.